Hey friends, welcome to another episode of Installed. In this episode, we'll explore the top software tools on the market today. Whether you're a seasoned mobile developer or just starting out, this episode has everything you need to know about the most popular tools in the mobile industry. And to kick off our discussion now, let's dive into the first of the most popular software tools for mobile developers, which is Xcode. Xcode is a comprehensive IDE, which means Integrated Development Environment, that was developed by Apple for developing software on macOS, iOS for phone, watchOS for Wear, and tvOS. It is used by over 1.5 million developers worldwide, which is really cool, and it's a top choice for developing iOS and macOS apps. So Xcode offers a wide range of features such as an inbuilt source code editor, a visual debugging tool, and supports Git integration, which is quite common nowadays in the IDEs that we use. Additionally, Xcode comes with a robust testing debugging tool and allows developers to test their apps and ensure that they are working as intended. The main benefit of using Xcode is that it's the official IDE for Apple's platform, which means it's the best integration and support for these platforms. And it's mostly, in terms of performance, it is considered as the best for iOS development. To be honest, it's actually the main platform to use when creating iOS native development. And the only drawback is that for you to access Xcode, you need to have an access to either a MacBook or a machine that has macOS, so that you can be able to install Xcode. Other ways will be to install a virtual machine that can actually support the Mac operating system, and then you're able to install your Xcode. So our next one is Android Studio, the official IDE of Google's Android operating system. It's used by over 2 million developers, and it's a top choice for developing Android apps. Android Studio offers a range of unique features as well, like layout editor, a code editor, a visual layout editor. Additionally, it supports a wide range of programming languages like Java, Kotlin, which is pretty cool, and C++, making it a very versatile tool for developers. And the benefit of using it is that it's official IDE for Android, which means it's the best integration and support for this platform. And in terms of performance, it's excellent, and it has improved as years have gone by, and there are new features that have been introduced by the Android Studio team even this year. Great. Third is React Native. React Native is a JavaScript framework for building mobile apps. React Native is used by over 1 million developers. It has lived the test of time, and it's a popular choice for building cross-platform apps for iOS and Android. At this point, React Native is quite robust and very strong because of how long it has stayed in the market. It's based on Facebook's React JavaScript library for creating complex UI components by using a virtual DOM. DOM means Document Object Model, and a reactive programming model. Okay, so reactive programming model basically is a programming paradigm concerned with asynchronous data streams and the propagation of change, allowing developers to respond to changes in real time. And you will see that whenever you're creating or interacting with not only React Native but React itself. React Native allows developers to write code once and deploy to both iOS and Android, making it a very cost-effective solution for app development. So it's really cool if you are actually an expert in React Native or React itself. And if you are a React developer who has created React web platforms in React, it's very easy for you to dive into React Native easily because it uses a React JavaScript library. Great. It is also built, another thing of its benefit is that it allows, the main of all is the fact that it allows us to create apps in multiple platforms with a single code base. Not only does it save time, and it also saves resources, and it's a win for a mobile developer to actually have such a skill because that's what is actually attracting the market currently. But that does not put that doesn't mean that having the knowledge on native is less of a priority. All of them are actually important. The most important thing you should learn from this episode is that all these tools are important. What matters is the type of use case that you have in your project. What kind of use case do you have? And that is what will help you to decide which type of tool will you use that are mentioned in this episode. Great. So the fourth one is the one that we have been interacting a lot in this channel, in this studio, is Flutter, a free and open source mobile UI framework that's created by Google. It's known for its unique widget system. I think we have seen that a lot, combined with its built-in graphics engine that makes it easy to create visually stunning and engaging user interfaces, and you can be as creative as you want. It's used by over 500,000 developers. It just came in, but it's booming quite fast, and it's a popular choice for building high performance and high fidelity apps for mobile, web, and desktop. As you know, Flutter supports mobile, web, and desktop in one code base. Flutter offers a unique feature called Hot Reload, which allows developers to make changes to their code and see the results immediately without having to rebuild the app. Great. So with Flutter's wide range of pre-built widgets, there's so much you can do. It makes it very easy to create beautiful and responsive user interfaces, and it's quite fast and also performant. Yeah. So the next thing and the last one for among the most popular is Ionic. Ionic is a very, very popular open source framework for building cross-platform mobile apps using web technologies such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It's used by over 400,000 developers worldwide, and it allows developers to create mobile apps using web technologies. This is where web developers can shine in the mobile market. They're already familiar with these technologies, right? And you're able to there's a wide range of pre-built UI components and plugins, making the functionality much easier. For example, interacting with push notifications or interacting with camera access to your app. They're already inbuilt, right? So for Ionic, it's very easy for web developers to transition to mobile development using Ionic, and it is considered as a high-performing framework for building mobile apps. It may not be as performant as using native frameworks, of course, like Android or Kotlin or Swift or even React Native, which has lived the test of time, but it's still powerful. At the end of the day, it's how you the type of use case you need for these tools and how you're going to develop as well. So from the tools we have discussed, the best framework and the language, as I said again, depends on the specific requirements and the needs of your project, considering they all have their strengths and their weaknesses, right? And if you look in the studio, we've currently interacted with Flutter a lot, but you'll find us engaging with other frameworks like Kotlin. We'll also engage with Swift. We'll also engage with React Native, Ionic as well, even Jetpack Compose. The studio is quite diverse. We just started with Flutter just to dive into the groove of things, but we'll end up interacting with these different frameworks. So Mobtree Studio is not based only on Flutter. So bring in all the other React Native engineers and all the other Swift, Kotlin, as we interact with all these type of frameworks, and these are the main tools that are most popular for us. So with today's episode, I hope you've really enjoyed what we've talked about. Remember, the information and the insights I have shared are just a starting point, so feel free to engage further in the comments down below and continue the conversation, because it's quite interesting to to hear other people's opinion on these different frameworks and these different tools that we actually use. None is better than the other. It all depends with the use case that you're using. And before I go, I'd like to thank you for tuning in. If you like this episode, please share and don't forget to subscribe. We'll be back next week with another exciting episode, so make sure to subscribe and to stay up to date on the latest and the greatest. Until then, have a great day and we'll talk to you soon.